What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Double M Motorsports. Today we continue work on the modified. Stick around, enjoy the episode. All right, yesterday we left off getting the fuel cell out, getting ready to swap it over. Went and grabbed my grinder and a cutoff wheel so we can cut these cross braces out, get this strap out here, the bottom straps, and hopefully get ready to get this thing prepped for the new fuel cell. So we're going to kind of be playing it by ear. I've never done this before, so I picked up some couple sticks of 3-inch by 4-foot flat steel. Got some square tubing there just in case. And there's the fuel cells, the old one and what we're changing to. So even though the new one looks smaller, it's actually a bigger cell. It's a teardrop cell, so it's longer this way. So we've got to do some modifying. We'll probably have to, once we cut these out, we'll probably have to scoot these side rails in a little bit this way too to adjust for that. So I will get the grinder cutoff blade hooked up in there and get these fuel lines kind of tucked up out of the way, and we'll get to work. All right, so there we have it. I have moved in these crossbars. They're nice and solid. Moved them in to fit the cell, and then I got this new piece welded back here to for the front and back. So next, what I got to do, the old one had these straps in there. I bought a little torch so I could heat these up and kind of straighten them out. I would like to reuse these, but I've got to form them around. I got to form them around the bottom of that fuel cell. So they were squared off before. Those provide the bottom support there. So that's what I'm going to work on next. Is kind of seeing if I can shape these to work with the new fuel cell. And if not, I got that flat steel I got where I can try to bend my own, but this stuff's quite a bit thinner, so I would like to use it on the bottom if I can, and then use the top use the thicker stuff for the top, because I doubt this is what was on there before, which that stuff may work. I may be able to use that, but we'll see. That's what we're going to start on next. She's in, but she is sitting a little too high. And she's leaning backwards. I started looking at it whenever I was, once I finished up there. It's like, man, something doesn't look right. It's leaning backwards. And the front, I've got my new spoiler that we get to run this year sitting on there simulating the decking. It's going to be through there. And we're good. We're good back to this point here. But I've got to lower this front down, which it's not going to be tough to do. I mean, I don't have a lot of work to get that done. I just got to come in here and cut that weld there and I can lower this whole entire front bar down all the way, which should get me the clearance that I need. And it'll be nice. The old fuel cell set pretty low in the chassis, so I'm kind of surprised that this one sits so much higher. But I guess when you look at the design, you know, this lip here, you've got a solid like 8 inches there. And the old one, the lip on it, you know, the whole fuel cell is down below it. So it will be good having the fuel cell higher up. I probably want it lower for weight-wise. But you know, whenever I went to fill it last season, I had all this gap underneath the decking that I was having to stick the funnel in, and you had to stick your arm way down there to get the cap off of there. So it will be nice. This ought to put the fuel cell pretty much right underneath the decking to where you open the door, and this is right there. So I will like that. So that's what I plan on doing. I don't have any more cutoff wheels. I burned through both of them today. So I'm gonna have to go grab some more cutoff wheels. I'll cut that off. I will lower this on that bracket down to there, re-weld that on, and that should give me, I mean, I'm not a long ways off. I just gotta come down, you know, that tip has to get down here, so I want this to be level across there, and hopefully that'll get me the space I need. But it's what happens when you don't know what you're doing. You learn as you go, and this was definitely a learning process. All the getting these straps, these under straps that go underneath it. You saw me start with the ones I'd bought. That steel was way too thick. I couldn't even get it to bend, and so I went with the smaller steel. Went with the smaller steel straps, which is like that. It's not very thick, so I could bend it easily with just a little bit of heat. I've only got a propane torch to use for heat. I don't have a big acetylene torch to get it that hot, so that big steel wouldn't bend. So I'm gonna have to find some more of this small steel, because once I get that lowered, these, you stick a bolt through there, that strap goes up there, comes down over here, and then it self-taps down into that too. So that's your top strap. So get that done. Get old Ferreira's old number off of there, or Ferreira's number off there. Love you, Ferreira, but I can't have your number running on the back of my car there. And hopefully that'll be it. I did check the fittings, and the fittings I've got, the AN fittings, do screw onto these, so they're the right size. I just got to figure, surely this is the supply, because that's the bigger one, and that's, you know, my old supply line was the bigger one. And then the vent, I just got to figure out which one of these to put the vent on, and then put a cap on the other one, and that ought to be good to go. But that's where I'm going to call it tonight. I'll go get some more cutoff wheels. I probably won't even film me lowering that. I'll just do it. And then next time I'm out here, I'll show you the progress that I made on that part. So you also seen me grinding on the, I was taking the opportunity while the body's off to get rid of these old mount points that had, I can't even find an old one now to show you what they Well, there's kind of one right there. I couldn't get in there very good, but that's where bars used to be welded on these things. I'm going to go ahead too and get this bar cut out here. This is an old, what do they call them? It was the side impact bars that would come out like Nerf bars. Yeah, that was an old Nerf bar mount. So I can chop this off and get it out of the way so I can get up in there and reach the battery better when I got the rear wheel off. So I'll get that done, get that lowered, and then we'll start rebuilding this decking. I've just got a couple things to figure out on it and try to get that cell cleaned up a little bit. These fuel cells have a hard plastic cells actually on the inside of this metal casing. This is just for looks, so I'll get that rust off of there and get a coat of paint on this thing, paint all this metal before we complete it for good and strap her in there for the season. So I appreciate you guys watching. Sorry I talked too long there. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Hope you guys have a good, safe New Year's Eve, and we'll catch you guys next year.
Now turn up.